Hi everyone. This is like the this is the you know like this is the second part of the video lecture I took last week, and because of the audio problem, that recording, I did not upload that recording because the audio was really bad. So I'm recording this part two of the lecture one. So basically, in this part of the lecture, I'll be discussing the first two programs we are going to make today. So as I mentioned in the first part of the video, that this series where I'm teaching you how to program, how to code, is about writing code, is about making programs. It is not about teaching you theoretical concepts. So though I will be touching theoretical concepts in between, but majorly the major focus is going to be on program. So in this class, we'll make our first two programs. The first program is about Hello World, which already I discussed in the part one of the video, that how to write Hello World using cout statement. But today I'll just extend that, and I also show you how to use the logical statement, the logical, or we can say the conditional statement, if then else. If else, sometimes we say if then else. So how to use that in C++ code. So I'm not going to work much on my the notepad. So most of the things I'll be discussing in this lecture will be on actual Visual Studio IDE. So I'll straight away go to this Visual Studio IDE. I'll increase the size so that it is visible to you. So I, from 100, I just increase the screen size to 200%. And so this is the first program we're going to make. We are not going to say hello world because we already said in the last lecture. So this is like this is a task I have mentioned, what we're going to do it in this lecture, that write yes. So write if then else loop to print response of user input. So user is giving some input, so we have to respond to the user using if then else statement. And second is the switch case statement. I'll come to that. So let's straight away go to the program. So the first thing is, this program is asking user, see, this is cout statement that we discussed. Let's start from beginning. So in the last lecture I told you that we're not going to touch this include statement because it is for Visual Studio for their internal purpose, so we are not going to spend time on this. This is, we discussed in the last lecture, that this is if you want to bring the functionality of C++ functionality of writing on the stream, output stream, then we need to include this library into our program. Otherwise we cannot use cout and cin. As we discussed in the last lecture, and also we discussed that what is the use of namespaces. So we need to write this statement using namespaces. Otherwise, if we don't write using namespaces std, then whenever we have to use cout and cin, we'll have to write this std : in front of cout and cin. And every time writing std : in front of cout and cin is a pain. So we include the namespace in the beginning and namespace std in the beginning, and then we don't need to write it again and again. So this is our main program, and if you look out this cout, even I can run this program and see what it is showing. Just a minute, I need to open the project again. See, if I run this program, it is asking a question that how are you today. So either I can say good or I can say bad. If I press 1, it means I want to say I'm feeling good. If I press 2, then it means I want to just mention that it's not a good day today. So that's on. I press 1 and enter it. Right now, so I need to remove the code is already written. Let's remove the code and we'll rewrite this. So actually, when I took the live class, I wrote the code. So let me run this again. So if I run this program, it's asking this is just asking a question, how are you today, and then it terminates. It's doing nothing else. So what we need to do is we need to take a response from the user. So what I am doing, I'm defining a integer variable to capture the response which user will give, and then I'll trap the user response. I'll read the user response using this cin statement, and this is I discussed in the last class also. Cin and then these angle brackets, and then I write response. So this statement will help us in taking the response from the user and save it in the response variable. So I repeat, this response is a variable of the type integer, and with this statement I am reading, I'm asking user to give a input, and that input I am saving in response variable. So after this I have the response of user in this response variable. Now I need to check whether user pressed 1 or user pressed 2. If he pressed 1, then he wants to say he's feeling good. If he pressed 2, then it means he's indicating that it's bad today, he's feeling bad today. So what we need to do is we need to greet user based on what he bid on it, based on his response. So so it's a conditional statement I need to write. If user says I'm good, then I have to say this is what I'm going to show to the user. It is good to know that you are feeling good today. But if user pressed 2, it means he's feeling bad, then this is how I'm going to greet that. I'm sorry that you're having a bad time today. And if users press something else, say 3, 4, 5, any other key, then it means I need to inform user that you gave wrong response. So now this is where we need to use if statement, because it's a conditional thing. If user press 1, then I have to do this. If he press 2, I have to do this, and if he press something else, I have to do this. And now how we implement this in a code? Using if statement, and this is something we use in every program multiple number of times, because these kind of logic, the conditional logic, we have to do it all. That's the main use the computer. If based on the situation it has to apply logic, it has to apply condition, and based on the condition it has to work, it has to perform. So we say if, and in the bracket we say response equals to. If we have to compare that, if we don't use single equal to sign. Single equal to sign is for the assignment. If you want to assign a value to response, so we use single equal to sign. But if we have to compare, then we use double equal to sign. If response equals to 1, so this is, if this condition is correct, then do this print, and this is I'm just going to copy it from here. Right, else, so if response is 1, then do this. Else if response equals to 2, tell him that you're feeling sorry that about his condition, right? And then we say else if so. This is very easy to understand, only just you're new to this programming, that's why you need to learn. Otherwise it's like a self-explanatory thing. Like if user is giving response equals to 1, then this statement will be executed, and if this statement will be executed, else means that this is not going to be executed, right? because else means that do this or that, either this or this. And if response is not equal to 1, this is program is not going to come at this on the statement, which straight away jump to the statement. And here we compare if response equals to 2. If response equals to 2, then this statement will be executed. And but if response is not equals to 2, program will jump to else and print this on the screen. Right? So let's run this program and see what happens. So this is the question which again I'm putting to the user, whether you're feeling good or bad today. Suppose user say I'm feeling bad. So now you see this is the statement. This is I'm sorry that you're having a bad time today. And you know, I think I mentioned in the last class also, there is no space after that. So because after printing this statement on the screen, I'm sorry you're having a bad time today, the cursor is here at this position, cursor is here. So next statement will be printed straight away, next statement, next line or next statement will be printed just from here, just straight away from here, because the cursor is here. If you want to show, press any key to continue in the next line, we need to put end of line character here. If you want 2 end of line, we can use 2 end of line. And that's what we are going to do on this side also. Right now if I run this program again, and if I say I'm feeling good today, so it is showing the message, it is good to know that you're feeling good today. And then you can see the cursor, with the first end of line character, the cursor will come here. With the second end of line character, cursor will come here, and then press any key to continue will always be there whenever program terminates, just to keep the screen. If this statement is there, otherwise the program will run and this black screen will go away. To make this black screen stay there, the system automatically prints this and press any key to continue. You know, this is so now the conditional thing where we is implemented using if statement. If this happens, and do this, else if this and this. There is another way we can do the same thing, not using if statement, but there's another approach, another method to use the same thing, same conditional thing, and that is using a switch command. So let's see how we implement. I just comment this out, and you know, I need to comment a complete block. So I'll use this style of commenting where I put / star, and then on this side I say star first and then /. So this block is commented now. Instead of that, the same logic I'll implement with the switch command. I say switch, 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 and do the switching based on the value of the response. So I write response here, right? And then I start the open bracket, and I use switch case. Case means what is the case? What would you want to do? We want to do that if value of response is say 1 : do this. If value of is 2, then do this. If value is, and the default, we want to say the default thing, then do this. So we say case 1, see out. The value of response is 1, then print. It is good to know that you're feeling good today. Just copy here and paste it, right? And then I don't want to do anything else. After printing this statement on the screen, I just want to come out of the switch statement. So for that we use the break command, right? So we use the break command to break the program out of the switch, to break from the switch, right? We're going to use break in other programs also. We'll be making in the next class. Break means to come out of the switch statement, or if you're using a while loop and there is a break in between, so it throws the program out of the current loop. So right now the current loop is a switch loop. If I say break, it will come out of the switch loop, and that's what we want to do, because we don't want to go into case 2 and case 3. So if the value is 2, we say see out right, and the default, if response is neither 1 nor 2, then the default value that you need to show is that you need to print is see out. your response is wrong. And then we close the brackets. So this is, let's run it and then we'll go through this again. If I run this program, and if I say press 1, now you can see it's good to know that you're feeling good today. If I run this program again, to run the program again, use control F5. So this, I don't know what's happening with the keyboard, so it's control F5. So if I say 2, it is saying I'm sorry, you're feeling bad today. And then it's saying you gave the wrong response. So it's, it unnecessarily is showing that you gave the bad response. Why it is happening? Let's check out. Let's check here. Because we did not have this break statement. So it prints this and automatically default value. Right? So we need to break it out of the switch loop because it's already printed the response. So we want to break the program from here. If you don't break it here, it will automatically start printing the other statement. It will automatically start executing the default thing. Right? So because see, the switching is happening here. When you say, let's see, if I just comment out this break and let's see what happens. If I run this program and see what happens. And if I say press 1, it is printing all the 3 statements. It is good to know that you are feeling good today. Sorry, you are not having a bad time today. Press continue. So so it's like, see what's happening. The value of response is 1. The program will come here. The case 1, yes, the value of response is 1. It is true. The program will print this. And then there is no break. It will come here. But now, it is invalid because this statement shows nothing. We are not going back and checking the response. It's not like if then else. So case 2 is useless statement. Program will come here and print this. But after this, there is a break. Program will come out and go out of the switch loop. If I comment this also, then see it will print all the 3. If I press 1, it will print this as well as this. It will print all the 3 cout statements. If I press 2, then it will print this and this. Right? If I run this program, you see, and if I press 1, it will print all the 3 cout statements. You can see in the screen. It is printing, I'm feeling good, I'm sorry, you gave wrong responses, because I did not break the program from, the case statement. I did not break the program from there. And if I run this again and say 2, I'm feeling bad, so it will print, sorry, you're having bad time today and you gave wrong responses. So what is happening this time? Switch, the value of response is 2. So switch statement is throwing the program to case 2 because the value of response is 2. So we are printing this, and then there is no break statement. It is coming to the default, and default is like playing no role. So it is automatically printing this also. Right? So that's why it is important to use a break statement if you are using switch statement. Okay, it's important to break the program in between. You have to break whenever you're using the switch statement. So see, there are 2 things when you write program. One is the logic, how you apply the logic to implement the logic into the code. How you, like for example, you have to solve a problem. You need to understand, you need to find a logical way to solve that problem. And the next thing is how you implement that in the code. First of all, the algorithm, the logic, and then how to implement that in the code. And third thing is the syntax. In fact, there are 3 things. One is how you're going to solve the problem. Second is how you're going to do it using the code. And third thing is how you're going to write the code in a proper form. That is a syntax, actual language, right? That depends upon your, there are all 3 different skills. So the third one is, I'll say, the one which you can learn on the fly. If you have done any one programming language, other programming language is easy to do. So this was the first program we made where we like perform these two tasks, task 1 and task 2. So I would say that when you if you have already installed IDE on your computer and you are in totally action mode to write programs, you need to do this as an exercise yourself, right? There's no point attending this class if you're not writing the code yourself. Even there is no harm in doing this, in writing the same program again. So you need to, type in some code and get used to of it. So the other program I'm going to discuss today is how to find the largest number from a list of numbers, right? So given is a list of numbers, list of integers, and we need to find largest number of all the integers in the list. So before we get into the code, let's make a logic. So I told you the 3 steps. One is the logic, how we're going to implement that in the code, and third is the syntax. So the logic is, let me go through the logic, though it's very simple, but again, you're new to the programming, so let me go through the logic. So how are we going to implement that in the code? So it's like this. Suppose we have this list of numbers. I say I take random numbers. Just a minute. No. So I take random numbers. I take number 5, number 15, number 7, number 10, number 25, number 30, and we have to find the largest number of these numbers. Out of these 6 numbers, which one is largest? And you know the answer is 30. Now how we get to this 30 number? So what is the logic to find this largest number? So what we do, we assume a variable, say largest, which will hold our largest number. And what we do in the beginning, I assign a smallest value to this largest variable. So in this case, it can be 0, assuming all these are positive numbers. So I can say largest is 0, or largest is -5, -10, -100, any value which is the smallest value, which must be the smallest of all these values, right? And then start comparing. Now how we apply the logic? We iterate this loop. When we say iterate this loop, we know it's a for loop. You need to write for loop, or you need to write while loop. You have not we have not still learned those loops, while loop and for loop. I'll teach you how to do that. So we have to go through each and every element in the list. We have to iterate the list. The word we use is iterate. We need to write iterator. Iterator means going through each and every element of the list. So we iterate this list, go through each and every element of the list, and we compare every element of the list with this largest value and see which one is greater and less. So let's see how we apply this logic. Initially the value of largest is 0, and what we do is we compare the largest value with the first element in the list. We compare these two. Suppose this is like a list of numbers like this. We say if statement largest equals to, not equals to, if largest is less than number in the list at say 0th position. If we compare like this, we compare the value of largest with list, and if value in the list is larger, right, then what we do, we copy that value in the largest. We say largest equals to 5, right? That's logic. The current value of largest is 0, and when we compare largest with the first element in the list, largest is smaller, so we copy that value in the largest, because we have to go through each and every element and pick the largest value. So we compare largest with the first element like this. Largest, if largest is less than list, then largest equals to list 0. जो पहला वैल्यू है 0 कर लो. So हम यहाँ पे ये कर रहे होंगे, we'll be comparing 0 with 5. If 0 equals to 5, if 0 is less than 5, yeah, 0 is less than 5, this condition is true, then largest equals to 5. Largest को 5 कर दिया, and now after this largest is 5. After this we compare largest with second element in the list. If second element, again the same logic, if element is more, then copy it to largest. So value of largest will become 15. Right, in second instance the value of largest will become 15, and then we compare 15 with 10, with 7, but this time the value in the list is less than the value of the largest, so we retain this value largest. We are not going to copy this value 7 in the largest variable because largest is more than 7. So up till now we got the largest number from the list. Out of 5, 17 and 5, 5, 15 and 7, 15 is the largest and we have the largest. We keep on doing this for other elements. For example, we compare 15 with 10th value. Compare 15 with 10 and obviously 15 is more than 10. So we're not going to copy 10 in largest. Largest will remain 15, right? So this is gone. Then we compare largest with 25 number in the list, next number in the list, and this time 25 is more than 15. So we update largest. We remove 15 from largest variable. We copy 25 in the largest variable. So up till now 45. So largest is holding the maximum number in the list up till now, right? Till now, till the point. So now 25 is the largest number. Then we compare 20 with 30, and again 30 is more than 25. We copy 30 in largest. So after we have iterated the whole list, iterated all the elements in the list, we have the largest number copied in the largest variable, right? So if we start with the first number, we equate largest to smallest value and then compare with the first number. If first number is more, we update largest. We copy that number in the largest. Then we compare largest variable with the second variable. If second variable is more, we copy in the largest. If second variable is less, we skip it. We don't copy in largest. So this is, though it's very simple, but this kind of algorithm or logic we need to make before we start implementing in the code. Right? This is very important that you are implementing it in a paper first and then you go and implement in the code. Other option we can do is, so like for example, if we have this list 8, 9, 15, 6, 4, 10. So what we do, we assume, instead of assuming largest to be a smallest value, we assume first number be the largest number. Let 8 be the largest number, right? And then we don't compare 8 with 8. We know it's the same value. We compare with the second element. And if it is more, element in the list is more, we copy 9 ho jayega, and then we compare 9 with 15. 15 is more, largest is 15. And then we compare 15 with 6, we retain 15, we compare 15 with 4, we retain 15, we compare 15 with 10, we retain 15. Finally largest equals to 15. So in the second logic I told you is that we, instead of assuming largest to be a small value, we assume first value to be a largest value, and then we iterate the loop and compare each and every element. So let's see how we implement this in the code. But before we get into the code, we need to see how we write. If we have to write a statement again and again, if you have to execute in a statement again and again, then let's do it in the code instead of doing it on the notepad.